There were two types of soldier in the Roman army, the Roman legionary and the auxiliaries. The legionaries were the very best soldiers, and the auxiliaries were actually non-Roman legionaries wore an undershirt made of linen and a woolen tunic. The linen helped the soldiers to stay cool, while the wool helped to trap heat, keeping the soldiers warm. In order to achieve the free flow of goods and services, with work and capital between the member countries, they needed to establish mutual politics in areas as diverse as agriculture, transport, and when they concerned with a far wider range. Scholars build their own personal libraries to support not only particular projects but also general reading in there. They buy or make photocopies of materials when possible, so they can consult them frequently, mark pages and write annotation on them. When moving into a new field, they add to their collections, usually concentrating on primary texts. Behavioral and social sciences research helps predict, prevent, and manage illness in individuals, and in wholeness research also helps people change their behaviors, understand treatments, and learn how to stick with them. Society's role is significant, too. Access to healthcare affects decision-making and behavior. Undergraduates may choose to major in any one of 125 academic. The university's distinguished faculty includes internationally known scientists, authors, and teachers who are committed to continuing the university's tradition in providing one of the highest quality undergraduate educations available. It's time for this young loggerhead turtle to go to. We can tether turtles in these little cloth harnesses, put them into this tank and dull swimming place. University of North Carolina biologist Ken Lohman studies sea turtles that are programmed from birth for an extraordinary journey. Mother turtles bury the eggs on the beach and then return to the sea, and the eggs hatch about 50 to 60 days later. The benefits and disadvantages of globalization are the subject of ongoing. The downside to globalization can be seen in the increased risk for the transmission of diseases. Globalization has of course led to great good, too. Richer nations now can come to the aid of poorer nations in crisis. Increasing diversity in many countries has meant more opportunity to learn about and celebrate other cultures. While advances in agricultural science have always been critical to ensuring we help feed the world, its impact and importance is even greater now, as population grows at a rapid rate and the availability of arable land steadily. Science and technology solutions are essential to meeting growing demand for food, maintaining market competitiveness and adapting to land mitigating risks. Some of the pain patients may become, or their meds may find their way to friends or relatives who take them recreationally. Or a prescription opioid user may transition to heroin. Heroin is just another opioid drug, so the brain doesn't distinguish whether it comes from a pharmacy or from a street drug dealer. Much of today's business is conducted across international borders, and while the majority of the global business community might share the use of English as a common language, the nuances and expectations of business communication might differ greatly from culture too. The speaker reminisces about his views of the English Revolution when he was a student and how it seemed quite clear which side he was on, the aristocrats, not the Puritans. Later he realized there was more to it than that, and there were several ways of interpreting the revolution, as a struggle between the king and parliament, as a class war, or as an unpredictable situation without clear. History is what history books tell us about the past is not everything that happened, but what historians have selected. They cannot put in everything, choices have to be made. Choices must similarly be made about which aspects of the past should be formally taught to the next generation in the shape of school history lessons. Global water consumption has increased almost fourfold in the past 100 years, and many regions can only meet their water demand thanks to essential contributions from mountain regions. In 30 years, almost a quarter of the world's lowland population will strongly depend on runoff from the only sustainable development can ensure the important function of mountain areas as Earth's water towers. Summerhill School was regarded with considerable suspicion by the educational lessons were optional for pupils at the school, and the government of the school was carried out by a school council, of which all the pupils and staff were members, with everyone having equal voting rights. Nature offers no greater splendor than the starry sky on a clear, dark night. Silent, timeless, jeweled with the constellations of ancient myth and legend, the night sky has inspired wonder throughout the ages, A wonder that leads our imaginations far from the confines of Earth and the pace of the present day, out into boundless space and cosmic time itself.